The scream tore through the busy street like a knife, sharp and urgent. Tires screeched, horns blared, and for a split second, time itself seemed to freeze. A little girl no more than 6, tiny legs stumbling over the edge of the sidewalk, stood helplessly in the path of a rushing car. And then, like lightning, a woman darted forward. Dark skin glistening in the afternoon sun, her arms reached out just in time to scoop the child into safety, rolling them both onto the pavement. The crowd gasped, relief flooding the air as the car sped past, leaving behind only the smell of burning rubber. That woman had no idea that her act of pure courage was being witnessed by someone whose life would never be the same again. A man standing across the street, frozen in awe, tears in his eyes, because the child she had just saved was his daughter. Her name was Maya, a hard-working nurse who had just finished a grueling 12-hour shift at the hospital. She wasn't supposed to be on that street at that moment. She had missed her bus home and decided to walk. Exhaustion weighed heavily on her body, but compassion was something she carried always, unshaken, unbreakable. Saving that little girl wasn't something she thought about, it was instinct, the same instinct that had guided her through countless nights in the emergency room, holding the hands of the suffering and offering them comfort. Yet, as she brushed herself off and checked the child for injuries, Maya smiled with relief, asking softly, "Are you okay, sweetheart?" She didn't know who was watching her from across the street, fists trembling, heart pounding, a father who had nearly lost his world in a blink. His name was Richard, a wealthy entrepreneur known for his business empire, his power, and his wealth. But all of that meant nothing compared to the joy of raising his daughter, Lily, after his wife passed away 2 years earlier. He had hired the best nannies, ensured she had the best schools, but nothing could replace the bond of a parent. And in that moment, as he saw the stranger cradle his daughter like she was her own, a wave of gratitude, humility, and awe swept through him. He crossed the street quickly, his designer shoes slapping against the pavement, his usually calm voice breaking with emotion. "Oh my God! Lily!" He pulled his daughter into his arms, his voice trembling as he whispered, "You're safe. You're safe." Then, turning to Maya, his eyes brimmed with tears. You saved her life." Maya shook her head, humility softening her expression. "Anyone would have done the same." She was already trying to walk away, blending back into the crowd, but Richard couldn't let her. Something about her strength, her courage, the way she put her own safety aside, it pierced his soul. "Please," he called after her. "I don't even know your name." She paused, hesitant, then replied simply, "Maya." And with that, she disappeared into the stream of people, leaving behind a man forever indebted, forever Chang. That night, Richard couldn't sleep. His daughter was safe in her bed, but his mind kept replaying the scene over and over, the look of determination on Maya's face, the way she shielded Lily with her body as if protecting her own flesh and blood. He realized something then: for all his wealth, his cars, his mansion, his influence, he could never buy what that woman had given him: time. Another day with his daughter, another chance to watch her grow. And he couldn't let her bravery go unrecognized. Over the next week, Richard tried to find Maya. He went to the hospital where she worked after overhearing Lily mention the kind lady who smelled like soap and wore a nurse's badge. He asked around, but Maya was not one to stand in the spotlight. She lived in a small apartment, cared for her younger brother who had been struggling after dropping out of college, and often skipped her own meals to ensure her family never went without. She wasn't just a hero in that moment on the street. She was a hero in life, quietly giving, quietly enduring. When Richard finally approached her, Maya was surprised. She saw him in the hospital lobby, wearing a simple suit instead of his usual luxury attire, holding Lily's hand. The little girl ran up to Maya with the innocence only a child could carry, hugging her tightly and whispering, "Thank you for saving me." Tears welled in Maya's eyes as she knelt down, brushing Lily's hair back. "You're a brave little girl," she said softly. Richard stepped forward, his voice steady this time. "Maya, I don't think you understand what you've done for me. You gave me back my world. I want to help you the way you helped us." But Maya shook her head firmly. "I don't need anything. I only did what anyone with a heart would do." She tried to walk away again, but Richard stopped her, his tone sincere. "Not everyone would have done that. And not everyone can walk away from gratitude." Days turned into weeks, and Richard's persistence eventually broke through Maya's walls. He didn't offer her money or gifts, he offered support. He helped her brother get into a training program, arranged scholarships for him, and quietly ensured Maya's workload at the hospital was less crushing by funding additional staff. At first, Maya resisted, her pride telling her to carry her burdens alone. But slowly, she realized that sometimes accepting kindness is not weakness, it is strength. Their bond deepened, not through grand gestures, but through moments of shared humanity. Richard admired her resilience, the way she always put others before herself. Maya saw in him not just a wealthy man, but a father whose heart beat only for his child. And Lily, sweet Lily, became the thread that tied them together, her innocent laughter filling the spaces where grief and loneliness once lived. But life tested them still. Rumors began to swirl. Whispers in society circles about a wealthy man spending time with a nurse from the wrong side of town. Maya felt the sting.